again, friends, and we welcome you to the Transplant Zone, a special feature for those people who are in the world of organ transplantation. But today we're going to take just a brief break before our program to do a little shameless self-promotion. Thank you for the opportunity. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan once again, and I'm going to start today with a little self-promotion. Why don't you have a professional broadcaster in your business? And that's more and more important, and I will have a special program on that and how I can help your business go and grow, because not only do you have a good accountant or a good attorney or a good bookkeeper or perhaps a good marketing person, you always now will need a professional broadcaster. So that's where we are today. But no, this is about the Transplant Zone. So thank you for allowing me to do a little self-promotion. But now let's go to a very important subject, vital for those people who are involved in the Transplant Zone. We're back, but this time we've moved into the Transplant Zone studio, and I took my glasses that my grandson says, "Here you are, Grandpa, some funky reading glasses." And I'm going to use those because I'm going to do a little bit more reading close up than I usually do. Usually I just have my kind of regular specs on, but here we go. Here's an article that has really, I've been watching this for some time now. And throughout the time that we have been with Gary recording the Transplant Zone. And right now, Gary is going through a little bit of what we call some painful recovery. Remember, one of the things that we have said, that in the Transplant Zone, oftentimes it's the procedure itself, which of course is truly a matter of life and death. But that happens rather quickly, usually within a day. But it is the preparation before and then the ordeal and sometimes the pain of recovery that truly is something that we need to know about and be supportive of each other, because the Transplant Zone is truly a matter of life and death. But like every good thing, the forces of evil in the world will take something good. The ability to do organ transplants, which is obviously one of the miracle procedures of modern medicine, and they will turn it into evil. And so this is an article that was put together for me especially. Don't think I'm brilliant. I just asked my Stosh the robot to take the information and put it together for me. So here we go. The dark question behind modern medicine. What the new book, Killed to Order, reveals about the global organ harvesting scandal. In the modern age of medical miracles, organ transplantation stands as one of the humanity's greatest achievements. Literally, lives are saved every day because of the generosity of donors and the skill of transplant surgeons. But alongside this inspiring story lies a troubling question that has been whispered about for the last few years. What happens when the demand for organs exceeds the supply? Now, there's a new investigative book entitled Killed to Order by journalist Jan Jekielek. Now, that's a Jan, Jan Jekielek. Jekielek, brings that question directly into the spotlight. The book examines deeply disturbing allegations that some organs used in transplant procedures, particularly in China, may come from prisoners of conscience who never consented to donate. For those who follow medical ethics and human rights issues, the book raises serious concerns about the intersection of medicine, government power, and global responsibility. And for listeners and viewers of the Transplant Zone, these questions go to the very heart of why ethical transparency, that's right, matters so much in the world of organ transplantation. So I just want you to know, by the way, if you would like a copy of this article, we would be more than happy to send it to you. So just reach out to me at stan@witradio.net, stan@witradio.net, and in effect, you'll get the entire written article that was produced by our company. And it then goes into the global ethical question. One of the most striking elements of Killed to Order is the way it broadens the discussion beyond China itself. The book asks whether the international medical community has done enough to confront the issue. It also raises questions about whether Western institutions, knowingly or unknowingly, may have become entangled in a system that violates fundamental medical ethics. Organ transplantation is built upon one foundational principle: the donor must give consent freely. Now, that's why this is just not about those people who are actually seeking a transplant, going through a transplant, recovering and having a better life, because like Gary, who has a new lease on life. The pain is a little bit intense right now, but it will truly be a pain that will give a great deal of gain for him as he continues on. But at the same time, we must confront the dark issues. So please ask for a copy of this little article we put together. Now, we make it personal. Programs like the Transplant Zone exist precisely because transplant medicine represents both hope and responsibility. That's right. Millions of transplant recipients live full and meaningful lives today because someone chose the gift of life through organ donation. And as we say, that was a sacred act. You know, that was a make God smile act that somebody, and that's why, when something, I hope that I don't die in such a demented or declining state that I can't donate my organs for life for other people. And protecting the integrity of that system makes it important that we maintain public trust. If even a small portion of the allegations described in Killed to Order prove accurate, it raises some important and urgent questions which the international community must respond. And we'll be asking some of the doctors, particularly at Duke University, where it's a major transplant arena here in North Carolina, and where Gary has received his transplant. But let's know that we are in a field where we have to maintain that wonderful transparency that it is done right. Okay, here are some things to remember. Organ transplantation is one of modern medicine's greatest achievements. Ethical donation depends on voluntary and informed consent. Allegations of forced organ harvesting challenge the very moral foundation of transplantation. So transparency and accountability are essential for maintaining trust in the transplant system. So we just wanted you to know that we are not unaware of this. Some people have seen the stories we're doing about the Transplant Zone, and of course, some of them are wondering, well, Stan and Gary, are you aware of some of the problems? We have been aware of that. And that's why we've been very, very focused on telling Gary's story and how beneficial it was and how grateful he is both to God and the donor for the new life that he has. But we too, we want this to be something that changes the lives and gives new life to thousands, maybe millions of people. But we also want to make sure that this is not something that the thugs and the thieves and the evil people of the universe profit on at other people's pain and expense. The forced harvesting of organs without consent, and maybe this is even more tragic, where it is taken from people who might still be alive, and we are afraid that it might be actually where people are actually executed or put to death just so the organs can be harvested. That would, of course, and it probably is in some cases, the worst of all the things that could come out of the desire for us to continue to make this modern medical miracle continue. So we want you to know that we are very much aware of this. We want to promote the right things about it, and we want to do everything we can to encourage people to be responsible, ethical, and certainly consent-given donors. Make sure you're signed up for that. Make sure that people in the family know about that. That's what you want, and that's who you are. And at the same time, let's perhaps want to get the book, or at least read a good summary of it. Killed to Order. Just by the very title is scary, isn't it? And let us all make sure, and we pray, we say, dear God, this is a great gift you've given to modern medicine to us today. But Lord God, shut down the evil that is being perpetuated in the name of human life. Shut it down and help us to be a part of stopping and putting an end to such evil practices. Well, there we go. Thank you for your time. I will be in touch with Gary almost every day. And he just simply said to me the other day, Stan, things are better, but the pain has increased. And I'm waiting for a little more pain relief to make it possible so I can be back and tell more of my story. And remember, the Transplant Zone is something that all of us can be a part of. First of all of us who are healthy and doing well should say, when it's our turn to pass, we want to pass on life to others. So that very act of signing that donation card puts you in the zone. And then there are many of you, hundreds, thousands, who are patiently waiting for that lung or that heart or that other organ that will make life better or maybe even save your life. And then there are those wonderful doctors and medical professionals who, in effect, are the people who make it happen. And I've had the opportunity to meet some of them as I've gone to the Duke Hospital and see not only the doctors and the professionals themselves, but the paraprofessionals and the young assistants who are there making it possible, and how they are committed and understand the power of what they're doing. It's not just a job, it's a matter of life and death, and they are doing their best to do that. For them, they're in the zone. And then for the people like Gary and thousands of others who are continuing to live because somebody else was able to give. And they want to make sure that good work continues. And they obviously have to keep in touch with their doctors and their medical providers as things go and grow, and as things perhaps eventually decline. But we want this to be something that is truly life-giving and God-pleasing in what we do. Thank you for your time today. I'm Stan, speaking for many people who will be speaking on the Transplant Zone, and particularly for my friend Gary. And we wish you all the best. I would encourage you, if you can go to helpiwill.com. We would be grateful, particularly Gary would be grateful if perhaps you could make a modest or maybe even a generous donation so that we can continue this good work and continue to help people in the transplant zone, and for us to do our part in uh, making sure that it is done right and ethically and honorably, and that we can shut down the evil that might be taking place, and we know is taking place in parts of the world in the harvesting of organs for transplant. Best and blessings to you. Till next time, bye for now.